But the idea is you're supposed to distinguish yourself from your actions. You are merely an agent that does things, and it's your actions that have an impact upon reality. So if your reality is that you're experiencing positive or negative reactions, then your responsibility is to alter your actions accordingly. So maintain any action that is benefiting you. Change any action that is harming you. And that is the extent of your analysis. You never have to say that you're a good person. You never have to say you're a bad person. It's only about the actions.
And you're making that choice as the individual. What happens when somebody's making that choice for you and it's quantifying?
How can someone make that choice for you?
Not the choices of your actions, but they're making the decision as to which one, whether it's good or bad. Whether you, like, let's say a point system.
Well, no one can tell me if something is good or bad for me. I'm the only one who can determine that.
My mind goes to the point system based on the collection of information on people. Like, I believe it's happening in China, where there's 25 million people in one city, and you jaywalk, deduct a point. You do something that's valuable for society, you add a point. Do you think the argument that you just made inevitably leads to that style of system, where the people that are governing everyone says this is what's good, this is what's bad. If you do the bad thing, you don't get as much money?
No, because you have to agree with that external value system. You can have an internal value system. You can say that I consider this to be good, I consider this to be bad. So even if the government deducts points from my account, then so long as I refuse to play by their value system, that's meaningless to me. Of course, the government can then resort to physical actions that the existence of which you cannot deny. But the point is still the same. You're the one who's in control of what you determine to be good or bad, roughly speaking.
So I think at the beginning I asked what we should be teaching at the very start. Is it the most important, or is the most important thing that we should be teaching what you just described? You need to have an individual set of values that is going to allow you to make decisions. Preceding obviously having to memorize information, having to learn how to network with people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's step one? What's zero before one?
You're saying that we should be teaching children philosophy, and that sounds legitimate. I think that's fine. But if I were to give a simple answer, it would be that we need to teach everything faster. That's it. So math, or like geometry, algebra, language arts, history, philosophy, all that needs to be condensed into like 3 years, 4 years. Because they're going to forget it anyways. Like, what's actually happening here?
And then this is going to open up more time for
them to specialize. So we need to use, but this isn't something that's naturally going to happen. That's like saying that the ground is naturally supposed to produce 2 or 3 times its yield. How exactly in the 17th or 18th century did we manage to multiply our harvest? It was because of the agricultural revolution. We implemented certain technologies that allowed us to be that much more efficient. And crop rotation was also a very useful innovation. Something similar needs to happen with education. There needs to be an educational revolution. Okay, an educational revolution.
Beyond the cognitive revolution, this is like an educational revolution.
It will be an educational revolution because the tools that the students have at their disposal will be much better.
Like virtual reality and things like that.
Kind of. Okay. And the first step would be to embrace like technology, like our phones. Mm-hmm. That's what, like, they should already have done that. Students should be allowed to use their phones and their laptops whenever. They shouldn't be deprived of the internet because that is the new state of existence. If we were to abandon, like what good does it do to have them not use the internet? I can't even think of it. So that's the first step, and then we need to develop even more efficient methods of communicating information and conveying these lessons to them so they can learn it faster and internalize it faster.
Sounds like you know what to do.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're doing it.
I am trying to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a problem that's solved through philosophy or discussion. It's not one that's solved theoretically. And that's part of my issue with Ken Robinson and these other people. They discuss altering the infrastructure, like changing the government or changing the politics, stuff like that. Has nothing to do with that. That's like telling the ground, like, you should be a Republican instead of a Democrat, or vice versa.
So we need a new tool.
We need a tool. It has nothing to do with politics or ideas. It has everything to do with tools. We need to give students better tools to learn faster, so that they can condense 13 years of learning into 3, so they can spend the next 10 years doing what they care about. Because there's only a finite number of skills and knowledge that a person needs to live. It's like, you need to know how to add. You need to know the basic operation so you can do your taxes and you can pay your bills. You need to know how to communicate so you can sign documents, send emails, etc. You need to have some understanding of history and politics so you can vote. That's about it. Like, how many years does it really take to teach a person just those things? And everything else, that should be condensed, or that should be something that a person has the option of learning, and then all the remaining time a person should be able to use to study whatever they are most passionate about, because that is the fundamental concept of specialization and division of labor, which are essential to our economic system.
Ignorance leads to fear. Ignorance doesn't have to be bad, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledging that we need to learn